Oh, the snow we've been talking about for days arrived right on time. Flakes started falling in Evergreen late today. It's not expected to stop tonight into tomorrow.
Denver got a ton of rain, and in the last 15 minutes, it started to switch to snow. Tomorrow is when things get interesting.
Oh, yeah. And we have team coverage with crews in Aspen Park and Denver. First, though, we do want to check on your forecast with Kathy in the backyard. Here we go.
Hi, guys. It was pouring rain out here for the last couple of hours with a third to a half an inch of rain in the gauge. And now it's big, flat snowflakes that are coming down, and it's starting to cover the ground out here. Let's take a look at the storm. Well, much advertised, well, winter storm is here. Heavy snow along the foothills, heavy rain in Denver, and everybody's starting to see the impact with the travel. We're under a winter storm warning. That heavy, wet snow will continue through Friday morning. Temperatures were very mild this afternoon and remain above freezing, so we've been flipping back and forth. But as that area of circulation near Las Vegas begins to wobble into the Four Corners area, we're going to see a whole lot of water coming into Colorado, and that will be in the form of heavy foothill snow, where we'll be measuring the snow in feet. In Denver, we're starting to see wet, heavy snow stick to the roads and sidewalks. That's really starting to fill in now with the rain-snow line right around Aurora, Lakewood, downtown Denver, and Arvada. Snowfall rates could go up to 1, even 2 inches an hour tonight, and that's why a winter storm warning is out, where the foothills could see 1 to 4 feet of snow. Denver, we're looking at 10 to 20 inches between tonight and Friday morning. The snow's really going to pick up overnight. Travel's going to become very difficult tomorrow. Won't see relief until Friday morning. I'll have much more on the timing and impacts coming up.
Thanks, Kathy. More than 200 schools and school districts are closing tomorrow. We've got a list scrolling on the bottom of your screen, pretty much everyone. We also have a list on our website, 9news.com/closings. I-70 is just a mess right now. This is a live look near the tunnel. Sections of I-70 have been closed on and off all day. One of our crews got stuck for more than an hour west of Vail Pass. They are spending the night in Frisco because they just can't make it any further east.
I mean, what is that? You can't see a thing.
Nothing.
They were trying to get to Evergreen, and that's where the storm's expected to drop a couple feet of snow.
And Corey Reppenhagen is not far from there in Aspen Park. He's been there all afternoon. He's got the snow all over. You've got the snow glow.
Guys, we've got one of those typical big March bombs unfolding right now. You can see the snowfall rate behind me here in Aspen Park. It's been picking up considerably from what we've seen just an hour ago, 2 hours ago. And just, you mentioned Evergreen, right on the other side of the hill from us on the I-70 side, already getting reports of 9 inches over there. We've been getting a little bit less on this side of the hill so far. I've been measuring out here at 9 o'clock and measured 2 inches. And we're almost up to 3 now. So we got an inch over the last hour. So that kind of shows you that the snowfall rate here is picking up. We went from a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch per hour, and now we're up to about that 1 inch per hour rate. Nothing like we're seeing down in the metro just yet. The metro area is already hitting some of those 2 inch per hour rates. But up here in the foothills, it's all about longevity, and we will continue to build even while the metro tapers off at some point during the day tomorrow. And that's why I've got the yardstick out here. I don't plan to use any rulers during this March storm. I'm fully expecting to use at least 24 inches out here. It seems that that's a very realistic probability, but those 36 to 40 inches, certainly doable out here, especially if you know that there's already 9 inches across the other side of the hill, guys. We'll keep it watching out here. We're staying here tonight. We'll check in with you in the morning.
You know he's like, that ruler game is for amateurs. We're getting the yardstick out on this baby. It's a yardstick storm, and Corey Reppenhagen is in it. I will see you tomorrow, sir. Volunteer firefighters in Evergreen are getting ready to respond to emergencies during the snowstorm, so usually they come in from home or work, but for the next couple of days, they're staying right at the station.
When we're expecting more than a foot of snow, firefighters who are able to will leave their families at their homes and come into the stations so that we can have a quicker response with our ambulances to be able to serve our community.
Evergreen has about 80 volunteer firefighters, and one of the things that they were busy doing today is putting chains on those fire engine tires.
DIA is the top of FlightAware's misery map. So far, airlines have delayed nearly 1,800 flights tomorrow and canceled nearly 1,500. Several airlines have issued travel advisories allowing passengers to rebook their flights for free. DIA says if you have a flight planned and you haven't checked already, I don't know what you're doing. They didn't say that, but you should have checked by now. This is Denver Mayor Mike Johnston's first big snowstorm while in office. You always have to have the first. And you got to remember that the only Denver mayor to ever get voted out in the last 50 years was done in by a poorly handled snowstorm.
Folks who have been around know. Bill McNichols, early 80s, got bounced by that terrible storm. So every Denver mayor's snow strategy gets scrutinized, and it even briefly came up as an issue in last year's mayoral campaign. Our Brianna Clark joins us now after asking Mayor Johnston about his plan.
Yeah, well, from what it sounds like, the plan for this storm is to let his people handle it. This is your administration's first big snowstorm. How do you think you're going to handle this?
We are ready, and Amy's going to tell you all about it.
Amy Ford used to be CDOT's spokesperson for big storms. Now she's with the Denver Department of Transportation and Infrastructure. The plan for tomorrow is pretty standard for the amount of snow that we're expected to get. 54 heavy-duty snow plows will be out clearing main roads, while Ford says 36 plows will focus specifically on residential streets, making one pass down the middle of each street every 24 hours. But don't expect to see any bare pavement in residential areas.
The goal is not to get to bare pavement. The goal is actually to sort of ease and smooth that pass. If you recall, we had some instances where we had severe, let's say, icing and rutting, and the goal of the residential plowing program is to actually avoid some of that.
This is to avoid the disaster of December 2006, where ice covered streets for weeks. It got so bad, the city's plows couldn't even handle it. They ended up using road graders to chop up chunks of ice. The city is labeling tomorrow's snowstorm as a Tier 4, the highest level of response.
The Tier 4 level for us is heavy accumulation, major drifting potential, several days of clearance, active work on our paths and our cycles where we're doing more than one day of response.
This is the first time in 3 years that we have reached a Tier 4 level response, guys.
They're going to throw everything they have against it because, Brianna, boy, it's coming down now. Look at that little snow globe.
Oh, yes, we've got a lot of snow coming down.
All right, and so it begins. Brianna Clark, thank you. We'll have extended coverage of the storm tomorrow on 9 News. 9 News mornings will start early at 4 a.m. Live coverage all day on 9 News and streaming on 9 News Plus all morning. Because of that extended coverage, today's show will move over to KTVD starting at 7 a.m.
Douglas County deputies have arrested the driver who's accused of hitting and killing a 7th grader last week in Highlands Ranch. 13-year-old Alex Makowitz was on his way to school when he got hit by a driver at Highlands Ranch Parkway and Beneford Ranch Road. Deputies say Alex was on a crosswalk when this happened. The driver, Ruben Moronos, stayed on the scene. Deputies say Moronos ran a red light. They arrested him today. He's facing charges of careless driving causing a death. All this snow we're getting right now means a greater chance for dangerous and deadly avalanches. The Colorado Avalanche Information Center says closures for avalanche mitigation operations are a possibility tomorrow and Friday morning in Loveland Pass, Berthoud Pass, and around the Eisenhower Tunnel.
We want to control these avalanches. We want to bring them down under our terms instead of having them run naturally. Everybody should be prepared for these closures. And as everybody has said so far, staying out of these areas is very important over the next couple of days.
The CAIC will try to do their work when there aren't many cars on the road. If you do come across an avalanche debris or anything like that, they say do not drive through it.
Search and rescue teams are ready to head out if called during the storm. Each county in Colorado has one. They're all volunteers, and they often spend their own money and for equipment and training. So actually this week, Next Word of Thanks microgiving campaign is raising funds to help out search and rescue teams across Colorado. The nonprofit Colorado Search and Rescue Association is going to grant out all of the money that we raise based on the needs of these small groups around the state that do the rescues. So like in Lake County outside Leadville, they said that their team could use a new snowmobile. In Huerfano County, their volunteers provide most of their own gear, but they need safer helmets for climbing rescues. Larimer County's team could use help with medical training for its volunteers. Park County Search and Rescue said it is almost there on affording a new off-road vehicle for rescues, and they're hoping that we might help them make it happen. If you'd like to join me in giving, scan that QR code on your screen or text the word THANKS to 303-871-1491 to get that link to donate. Since 6 p.m. tonight, Next viewers and 9 News viewers have raised more than $30,000 for Colorado's search and rescue teams. It's a chance to help out these volunteers in every corner of our state. A few $1,000s here, a few $1,000s there to let them know how much we appreciate the risks they take to keep us safe.
It's been snowing on and off all day in the foothills where people could see more than 4 feet of snow, and that's a problem for a veterinarian in Aspen Park. Dr. Jenna Queston is closing her animal hospital tomorrow. She's worried about getting to the Rocky Mountain Horse Expo in Denver this weekend. She's expected to be the on-hand vet for around 200 horses from around the country. That is, if she can get there.
The idea of hauling 3 huge horses in a horse trailer on an icy I-70 to get down to the Horse Expo does not sound like a great idea right now.
Jefferson County says the Road and Bridge Division is responsible for more than 3,000 roads when snow comes down.